You know, you wouldn't think a story about a boy raised by wolves could teach us much about loyalty. But today, we're diving deep into the Indian jungle to unpack a really powerful lesson on what it actually means to be a true friend. I mean, just think about that for a second. What would that life really be like? The rules, the dangers, the lessons you'd have to learn? It's a wild thought, right? Well, turns out the story of Mowgli gives us a pretty fascinating look at it. So, our story kicks off with a situation that's immediately tense. You've got this human child, this man cub, who just shows up out of nowhere, and right away, everyone in the jungle has to pick a side. It all starts when this little boy wanders away from his village and, of all places, stumbles right into the den of father and mother wolf. I mean, can you imagine seeing a human baby that deep in your own territory? It's just incredible. And boom, right from the get-go, you have these two powerful forces colliding. On one hand, Mother Wolf's protective instincts just fire up instantly. That's her cub now. But on the other hand, you have Shere Khan, the tiger, who sees this kid as nothing but an intruder who's gotta go. And just like that, the main players in Mowgli's life are all set. The battle lines are drawn. You've got his defender, his number one enemy. And then, and this is so important, the two figures who are going to become his mentors, Baloo the bear and Bagheera the panther. Okay, so how does a human kid officially join a wolf pack? It's not as simple as you might think. There's a whole formal process. First, Baloo, who's like the teacher of the jungle, he vouches for him. And then Bagheera actually pays the price for his life with a freshly killed ox. That's a huge deal, and it's what finally convinces the pack to let him in. So with his spot in the pack totally secured, they give him a name. And it's a name that just perfectly captures who he is, Mowgli. It means little frog. Probably because, he's small and hairless and just looks so different from all the furry wolf cubs around him. All right, Mowgli is officially one of the pack. And now his real education can start. This isn't just about day-to-day survival anymore. He's got to learn the super complex code that basically governs all life in the jungle. At the very heart of all his training is this one big idea: the law of the jungle. And listen, this isn't just survival of the fittest. No, it's this intricate system of rules about respect and territory and how you behave. It's the glue that holds their entire world together. His first teacher is Baloo, and Baloo is all about the wisdom behind the law. He's the one who teaches Mowgli the big stuff, the ethics of hunting, why loyalty is absolutely everything, and how to understand the language of every single creature out there. And then, to balance out all of Baloo's wisdom, you've got Bagheera. He's all about the practical side of things. He's the one training Mowgli in the physical skills he needs to actually get around the jungle and, defend himself. So together, they're this perfect mix of theory and practice. But all this training, this new family he has, well, it's about to face its biggest test yet. Because a new group is about to enter the scene, a group that plays by a completely different set of rules. Or actually, no rules at all. Just when Mowgli is really starting to feel like he's got this world figured out, this new chaotic force shows up in the jungle, the Banderlog. So, who are these guys? The Banderlog, the monkey people, are basically the exact opposite of everything Mowgli has been taught. They are completely lawless, totally chaotic, and has zero sense of honor. They're basically anarchy running wild in this very ordered world. And how do they manage to lure Mowgli away? They go right for his ego. They start whispering these tempting but completely hollow promises in his ear that they, the great Banderlog, would make him their leader. But Mowgli's real friends, they don't even hesitate. They know they can't take on this massive monkey tribe alone, so they do something smart. They form an alliance with Kaa, the giant python, one of the only creatures the Banderlog are actually afraid of. And together, they pull off this incredible, daring rescue. And this right here, this is where the real lesson of the story snaps into focus. Because being kidnapped and rescued teaches Mowgli something way more important than how to climb a tree or hunt for food. I mean, look at this. It lays out the difference so clearly. On one side, you've got the Bandarlog. What do they offer? Empty words, chaos, and absolutely no honor. And on the other side, you've got Baloo and Bagheera, who show their friendship through loyal actions, real help, and genuine respect. So this is the big takeaway for Mowgli. This is the moment he finally gets it. Real friendship isn't about being told what you want to hear or getting a bunch of flattering promises. Nope, it's built on something solid, loyalty and mutual respect. And that was probably the most important lesson the jungle was ever going to teach him. And that kind of leaves us with a question to chew on, doesn't it? The Bonderlog, they're like all the noise and the false promises we all run into. So the story really asks us to stop and think. When things get rough, who would really truly have your back? In other words, who makes up your pack?